I was chasing a girl who was in Delhi, so I came because of her.
Because of your wife?
Yeah, absolutely. You
Yeah.
know, absolutely.
So then
Yeah.
we got one of our very strong accommodation partner,
Yeah.
right? And they were like, they were from Australia,
Hmm.
right? And they're like, we want to come and see your office. And I was also have,
Hmm.
like, they are coming on Monday. I had one day. In one day, I need to arrange a office which should be looking swag
Like an
and
office, yeah.
fancy and all. So then I reached out to my co-founder, then co-founder, who's still a very very good friend.
That I had one step name for one entire year. We had one person, which is me. We had one client, which and one desk. So for a year, I was like, "ये नाम ही गलत दिया है. ये one पे रुका रहेगा. It will never grow."
Hi, I'm Saurabh, founder and CEO of University Living. Today I'm very excited. I have a guest who is very close to my heart. He's more of a friend than a industry associate or a colleague. None other, he is Aritra Ghoshal. I just realized his story about Ghoshal Kar. We'll talk about that later. So talking about Aritra, Aritra, first of all, thank you, for I guess it's 11, and thank you for, and you're not well, and you already been on your foot from almost 24 hours, attending conferences, speaking and whatnot. So thank you for your time. Thank you for coming all the way from Mumbai through Gurgaon to Noida. How are you?
Good. No, good. But it's also, thanks for inviting. And I think it's fine for us, the time doesn't matter whether it's 10, 15 or 11. So it's okay. So thank you very much for inviting me to do this with you. And no, I think, I'm more productive in Delhi when I'm coming from Bombay. So it's okay. It's something in the air maybe, so I'm absolutely glad to come here today.
Do you think study abroad, overseas market, Delhi is the capital?
Yes.
Not Mumbai?
No.
No Bangalore?
No.
Not Hyderabad?
No.
Okay. Why so?
So if you see the study abroad market, like it is not about where the students are going from or where they are. There are students like Kerala is a big sending market, then Andhra Pradesh, then Telangana, Punjab, Gujarat. But if you see the big agencies, first of all, their headquarters are in Delhi. Most of them are. If you see the big, accommodation players like yourselves, their headquarters are based out of, Delhi. If you see market entry players like ourselves, our headquarters are based out of Delhi NCR. University offices are mostly here. The embassies are here. So I definitely feel that Delhi is the capital of
ecosystem.
Yeah,
is very
exactly.
Like for tech startups, Bangalore is the by default city in India. Similarly, you're saying for higher education, ecosystem is very robust and established in Delhi.
Yes.
Okay, fair bit. I just realized that I have not introduced you formally. You want me to introduce, or
No,
you
I'm
want
fine.
to do yourself for our audience?
Okay. So I think, I've been in this industry for 11 years or 12 years now. And I'm a graduate from University of Sheffield. I lived in the UK for close to 5 years. I worked there. Somehow, I think I landed up in the overseas education sector. I was working in telecoms, consulting, and then I landed up in this sector. However, I've enjoyed this thoroughly. And this has been this, we are about to reach 7 years with OneStep. And I think we're doing all right. We have gotten we're working closely with 30 universities now.
Wow.
So, and across, the entire gamut. So we're working with 6 countries now. So hopefully this is the start of something. And I've always felt that keep your feet on the ground and just remain humble, because there is no point, everything is temporary, right? It, right? One day the success comes, one day you will have a failure. The effort is permanent, that's the only thing which is permanent.
I can relate this to more, because one of our motto at University Living is hustle humble. Be humble. And why one should not be humble? I don't know, people say you are humble. Humble, you need to be humble. Why not, right? Plus, as you mentioned, efforts are permanent. So I keep saying that do the right thing, not the easy thing. And we don't have control over results, but definitely we have control over input and efforts.
Yeah.
So totally agree.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you land up in this ecosystem or in this higher education space somehow. I want to double click on that.
Yeah.
So how did you one day from telecom from UK?
So I think I got a job with a media company called ABP, so which owns the ABP News and all these things in Calcutta. From there I got a job in Pearson. I don't know how that I got a job. So Pearson was the first experience of study abroad. The Pearson language tests, they were very nascent at that point of time. It was the founding team in India. And then I worked with a market entry service provider, like Sun MS4. And then I started something of my own. So yeah, so Pearson was the entry point,
Is it because of you being Bengali and from West Bengal? Is it because there's a myth that West Bengal or Bengalis are very good with English, and that's how PT happened, or what was the connect?
No, I think
what was your role there?
It's a brand manager. So I used to look after the brand of Pearson Test of English. And no, I think my English is pathetic actually, but so.
And you're managing all the English.
English speaking destinations. Yeah. So no, I don't think there was something. I was good at marketing maybe, and that's how I got a job. I was about to move from Calcutta to Delhi. So I was chasing a girl who was in Delhi. So I came because of her. I stayed back.
So your success is because of your wife?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I have no doubt about it. Because it's 10:30. There's a 2-year-old kid. I'm sure she's screaming on top of her voice, which is 1,500 miles away. And still there is no phone call, right? You didn't see I was sitting with you for half an hour or 45 minutes, but she knows that I'm doing something. So I think I've always believed in one thing, Saurabh, and we keep talking about this, that if your home front is taken care of, then only you can do what you have done. It's impossible to run a business of this magnitude that you guys are doing, and all of you are doing, all of you are a part of the success of university living. If the home is not taken care of, if you are continuously harassed with kya chal raha hai, kya nahi chal raha hai, then it becomes very difficult to concentrate on this.
So that's a very tricky point you touch, and especially for someone like me who been. So my first baby in university living, my wife is very clear. My first love is university living, my wife is very clear. In spite of that, in fact, in the evening I send a voice note to Bhavna. Bhavna is my wife. And as you mentioned that front home is taken care, everything is fine. Totally. Because someone like me who worked 20 hours, not that I'm proud, but probably I'm enjoying it. If days when I come home and I come from home to office and there are some arguments or something, I'm not at my best. Days when, like today, when I know that, I've told them that, okay, it's a long day, and most of our days are long days, right? And, the wife is taking off kid, and today's kids are, tycoons and typhoons, I would say, right? So, totally agree. And you mentioned about, and I want to touch upon something because you've been a Unireps once.
Yeah.
You've been representing universities and now you've been managing universities,
Yeah.
right? So how's a typical day in a university rep life? Let's say if someone is watching us and they want to be part of ecosystem or they want to be part of higher education and they want to start their career with, applying for university rep role.
Yeah.
How to go about it and what is a typical day or a year looks in their life?
Yeah. So how to go about it? I'll touch upon the first thing, that most of the universities that we are working with now, some of them, they do prefer, some kind of industry experience. So if you don't have any industry experience, or go and work with, education consulting company or,
you did, you were part of PT.
Like PT, that kind. Or there are loads of agencies, that you can work with. And some of them are actually fine to take absolutely having no experience. So transferable skills, like if you're working with hospitality industry or aviation, there are a lot of transferable skills into this job, because this job is, major part of it is customer service. And we have to understand that students, agents, universities, with different stakeholder management. A typical day when they are traveling, I think it starts very early. So typical day, there will be that they'll start very early, have an early morning flight, Sometimes they will not have their breakfast and they're feeling that thing in their stomach. Straight away they go into an agent office or a school, and they may not be having their lunch till 2 p.m. and then some
Street
some
food,
of them
coffees, tea,
coffees and
biscuits.
stuff, so, and by the time they reach home, the hotel back, it's like 5 p.m. and they're checking in at 5, so there are a lot of times that this happens. So yes, there are times when we also say as a company and as a responsible company that if it's okay that maybe you take evening flight and maybe you rest up well if you're not feeling that great. We have to be that humane to deal with them. When they are here, when they are based in their stationed in their home city, I think the phone doesn't stop. So I used to take phone calls till 10:30, quarter to 11, 11, and
And who are calling? Who are-
students, agents, counselors, university, and now back in the day it was phone, but now you have phone, team, WhatsApp. There are multiple channels, so you just don't get a downtime. This is not a 9 to 5 job. If anybody is thinking that this has got a lot of glitz and glamour and of 5-star hotels, they are mistaken. It's hard work. Sometimes you don't even get appreciated for the hard work that you have put in, the hard toil. So I have a lot of respect for these guys, and that's what I'm able to wrap this up by saying that OneStep Global has always been an ex-in-country representatives company, and we will keep them at the forefront of it. If we treat them better, they will treat our clients better. It's a simple thing.
Totally.
So,
Totally. In fact, you mentioned, and totally agree. Most of the time we are attending events to 5 stars, 7 stars. Flights are like Ubers to us, right? But then, we've been part of it, right? I mean, there's no lunch time, there's no dinner time. Yes, we party.
yeah,
We network.
Yeah.
We are wearing good clothes.
Yeah.
We are groomed and suited and well dressed up. But behind that, lots of efforts, lots of sacrifices, depriving on sleep. I guess if not more, at least 3 to 4 months they are away from family.
Yep.
More than
Absolutely.
that.
More than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after a while, it's not those 5 stars. It's not about those flights. It's about how they are creating value for students and agents and ecosystem. So lots of respect for Unideps.
Yeah.
You mentioned about you became a brand ambassador or brand manager for PT. So any student who's watching or any professional who's watching and you want to be a brand manager. So how did you go about it, and what is brand manager does?
Yeah. So I think brand manager will be looking after the health of the entire brand. So marketing, social media, vendor management. Back in the day there was not much of social media, but now I have to advertising, then creating campaigns. So I think I got into this I landed up into this also very I don't know how, because I used to work as a research consultant in a General Electric as a a consultant. Then I came to ABP, the Anand
News
Putrika,
media, yeah.
So they gave me like a jack of all trades kind of a role, like ye bhi karo, wo bhi karo, you do this, you do that. And I kind of learned, that was my MBA for for a year and a half. So I think I started picking up on marketing from there. So that's how I landed maybe in branding. But if a student is listening to this, a marketing degree, an international business degree, an entrepreneurship degrees, this will be helpful to get into something into brand management. Then second is that keep up to date with all the campaigns that are running for all these big companies and startups, like some of the like Zomato's. Look into their marketing campaigns. It's brilliant.
Yeah, always up and
always
always
up,
relevant.
always very relevant, very to the point. I think it's one of the better marketing. This thing, when Indigo launched, you see the marketing that Indigo did. Like I think it was Biden and Kennedy, the agency was, and it's still, as soon as you close your eyes and you think about Indigo, you will still go back to those campaigns. And I think you need a lot of emotional intelligence to do marketing. अगर ठंडा मतलब Coca-Cola Yeah, you know,
accommodation मतलब university level.
accommodation matlab university living. If you are thinking about studying abroad, then you need to find a bed. Uh, you know, this is it. You know, if you are thinking about somewhere in the accommodation space, you guys should be the first for front.
Sorry,
yeah.
I
No, no.
planted that, but
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
But I'm saying that this is how the jingle remains, right? So I think So for students, I think पढ़ो, बाहर की दुनिया देखो. कुछ courses are fine. Digital marketing के courses हैं, सब है. That's fine.
So it's been 1.5 decade
Yeah.
in this space, and you are a ex UKite or alum, right? As per you, and you've been working very closely with universities, and you're on the ground, seeing, speaking, and observing students. So as per you, what has changed in last 1.5 decade when you went and over all this time?
Yeah.
How study abroad market has evolved?
Sure. First of all, there's an information boom. So I think when I went, back in 2007, I had to courier things.
FedEx,
FedEx and all. So, and you also remember this, I think around the same time you also went. So, so those times where, and there was a lot of, lot less information. So you used to go to British Council and understand what they are saying. So the information boom is one thing. This has helped students, so they can now make their decisions more informed decisions. But I also feel that there's a disadvantage to it also. The fun goes. So if you know everything about everything,
you become more certain.
Yeah, more certain. You look.
There's no butterfly in the stomach.
Exactly. Like that thing has gone. So I think maybe and maybe this generation doesn't really care about butterflies in the stomach. It has to be very, very. They need to be very. And then there are some people are sitting who are from this generation maybe, but they need to kind of understand that I need to be sure about this.
Today's lot is more confident.
More confident.
More certain and clear in mind versus what we've been.
Yeah, absolutely. And I work with a lot of them, in my company, and I think I learned from them. And the ecosystem, I think technology has come into this system. Look into your company. I'm not trying to put you in a spot, but look into your company, that the amount of technology you're using, and the help that technology is offering. Sitting here, someone is getting to see a full viewing of a room in London. Like, kaun socha tha 2006-7 mein, nobody. We used to see the pictures of them, right? Now you can have a buddy, you can have a AI buddy that who is going to help you. You can have a full viewing of the room. You can have a full viewing of the campus that you are going. So technology has completely changed the ecosystem, And I still believe that we are lagging in technology uptake in this industry. We still need to get better. I think for universities also, and for brick and mortar companies like us also, I think we need to get better. But for a student journey, I think information and technology has helped completely change the journey.
And how about the choice of destinations?
I think the choice of destination, the big four, as we say, the Australia, Canada, USA and UK, they are still very popular. They were popular, they're still very popular. But newer destinations have sprung up, like in Ireland, like France, like Germany, New Zealand. New Zealand was there, but New Zealand has again doing better. And then Malaysia, Dubai, even closer to the city, closer to our country, Singapore. So I think people now are not choosing because मेरा भाई वहाँ पढ़ने गया था. People are choosing that, do I have a career? Has the country got, does the country have
potential,
the opportunities, the potential, the price point, the scholarships? Then, some other day, an Indian kid asked me, that, that बहुत Indians हैं क्या वहाँ पे? मैंने बोला क्यों? मैंने बहुत Indians होंगे तो मैं नहीं जाऊँगा यार. So that also has become a thing, because they know that the competition is actually from your own compatriots, right? Of getting that work permit, you are actually going to fight another Indian or a Pakistani or another non-EU person, right? Yeah. So I was like, बाप रे, so that it has reached that level. So पहले ये होता था कि you go to that because our cousin has studied there. It's a great place, this, that, but now it's very different, and these are the countries which are doing very well.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. And I mean, as you mentioned, it's been 7 or 8 years. 7 years? 8
Yeah,
years. One
this
Step
one-
Global.
7
Tell me
years.
more about One Step Global and why One Step Global. What is behind this name? It's very catchy and very global name.
Is it?
So,
I'll
Step
tell you the
Global.
actual story actually, so I named it 15 Steps. So the
Oh.
reason was, the
Interesting.
English rugby team came out with a 15 steps to performance. So when I was thinking about a company, I was thinking ki it has to be a performance driven company. Okay. So then 15 steps was the name. Then someone said that after 13 steps out of the pub, people generally fall down. तूने तो 2 और step लगा दिए तो पक्का ही गिरेगा. So I said, oh my god, I never thought about that. So I changed it to 1 step. I said, ठीक है, 1 step लेके ही गिरो कम से कम. And I used to, tease myself that I had 1 step name. For one entire year, we had one person, which is me. We had one client, and one desk. So for a year, I was like, ये नाम ही गलत दिया है. ये 1 पे रुका रहेगा. It will never grow. 15 ही ठीक था, कम से कम 15 तक तो पहुंचते. So I was like, but in the hindsight, I think 1 step means that, and that it's a step towards growth,
Career.
towards success, towards, knowing each other. Everything, you always, it all starts with 1 step.
step.
So,
That
the philosophy is that.
yeah, it was first step to anything which
Yeah.
lead to
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And that's how you added G, which
G.
is not Ghoshal, which is global.
Global, yeah.
So how from one university you moved to now what 30 universities
Close to, yeah.
in 7 years?
Yeah. 6.5 years actually.
3.5 years.
Yeah.
So tell me some anecdotes which so I give you my example. So when
Yeah.
we got one of our very strong accommodation partner,
Yeah.
right, and they were like, they were from Australia,
Hmm.
right, and they're like, we want to come and see your office. And I was also have like a very garage startup in Lajpat Nagar, Afghani market, plastic chairs and one. They're like, they are coming on Monday. I've shared this in few platforms, and they're coming on Monday. I got an email on Friday, which I seen on Saturday, and I was like, I missed that mail. And Sunday afternoon, I realized there was some mail, there was so much super. I had one day. And in one day, I need to arrange a office which should be looking swag
Like an
and
office, yeah.
fancy and all. So then I reached out to my co-founder, who is still a very, very good friend. His bhabhi's basement was in Southex. I'm like, ये location अच्छी है. It was a lawyer's chamber.
Oh, okay.
So it
done
was
up.
very nicely done.
Teak and all.
But still, within 12 hours, you need to convince her Angrez, Parliament language that okay, we are the best and we have infrastructure and all that. So then, any such anecdotes for you? I'm sure there must be many. But
Yeah.
if you want to share any.
I think so there have been times that I'll share one good one that happened. So I won't name the university, but I went to a city in the UK and
Tell me the city name.
no, you'll guess
Every
it.
city got 3-5.
No, you'll guess this one because they are a client of
Okay.
ours, So I went to the city and
What is that city famous for? Continue.
So I went to that city and instead of going to the university, I went to another university. So मेरे को लगा था कि same ही होगा. तो I went to that campus. University Uber में करते वो उस university में लेके चला गया. And I'm standing in front of this and I'm texting that person that I'm going to meet. And this is like 2018, 19, that part. And he's saying, where are you? I'm like, I'm standing in front of this building. And then he said, what building? I said, click. I clicked the picture and I sent to him and he was like, yeah, that is our closest competition where you have gone. So thank you very much. And tab mere ko laga ki shit, he's not going to give me this thing. And then the meeting, and then he said, and he started laughing, and he's a dear friend of mine, and you know, somehow we cracked the deal. I went back. So yeah, you know, one thing I want to share, that the first sales call in my life, sort of, that I've done, first sales call was Motorola. So as a 21, 22-year-old person, I was scheduled to go to Motorola in Basingstoke, Reading से थोड़ा सा आगे,
Right.
और मैं सो गया ट्रेन में.
You stayed with Readings? Where did
No,
you
I
study
stayed from Sheffield.
Sheffield, yeah.
So I slept on the train and I passed, मतलब 3 बजे की मीटिंग थी, मैं 5 बजे फिर से घूम के आया. तो 5 बजे जब मैं आया ना, 5 o'clock when I came, and it was, I still remember his name, Douglas Waltman, you know, his name was. And I said I have a meeting with him. And he's the head of research for Motorola Global. मतलब उसकी मीटिंग ही नहीं मिलते. तो he picked up the phone and he said, weren't you supposed to, and it's typical British, you know, humor, weren't you supposed to come like 2 hours prior? And एक सेकंड के लिए मेरे को लगा कि झूठ बोल देते कुछ एक, लेकिन उतनी जल्दी में झूठ कैसे सूझेगा, you know? So I said, sorry, I slept on the phone, on the train. And then there was a pause of 30 seconds and then he started laughing. You slept on the train and you missed the station, you know? So मैं ये, why I'm saying this, you know, these anecdotes always remain with you. It is better to remain honest. उस छोटी सी चीज के लिए अगर half a second में भी ना मैं कुछ बोलता, sorry, there was a traffic, you know, train got derailed. शायद उसको पता चल जाता कि you know what, we'll reschedule this when you have a better time.
Right.
So it is better for people who are listening to this, you know, it is better to remain honest to yourself at least. तुम छोड़ो बाहर की बातें, you know, कौन जाएगा कौन नहीं जाएगा, but it is at least good to, you know, be honest. So sorry for the gyan, but
No, it's not gyan. In fact, you know, so we've been meeting each other for good 4 years, now, 4-5 years, we're friends, right? And you know, you always been supporting. You know, you always been. I mean, our stories also last 3-4 years. You know? I mean, we are now a foreign people team, but back then I remember how even there was no vested interest and how you supported us, you know, connected with the universities. So I will never forget that. But even then and now, you know, you have grown leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Your simplicity,
Yeah.
your honesty,
Yeah.
and I was trying to come up with a connect with simplicity, honesty, and humorous way, because you have that
Wit.
very wit. Yeah, it's not British wit, it's not Bengali
Bengali
wit.
wit.
There's certain kind of you know,
Mixture.
wherein you. I mean, in fact, today I was standing with someone in one of those conference, and I'm not trying to you know and not trying to flatter or probably because he's my guest, you know. But he comes as a very honest guy. Comes as a very, you know, simple guy, and I believe in today's world, simplicity and honesty is rare.
Yeah.
You know, everyone try to be over smart. Everyone try to overplay others. You know. So, and you are a founder of a company where you have, you know, 50, 60, 70, probably 100 people team all across. You have a new office in Mumbai. You also just got great work to great place to work. You know, so congratulations for that.
Yeah.
But what are your leadership style? You know, especially you are in this space wherein it's about human.
Yeah.
You know, and I would say it's easier to manage machines than human.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, and in your thing, human diplomacy is everything.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
how you go about it?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's tough one, sort of, you know, to be honest. The leadership style, I'll feel that it's more like it's a mixture of a servant leader, that, you know, you want to kind of, okay, you know, you put people in front, that it's their credit, and I always do that, you know, I will never take credit of something. If OneStep Global has done well, it's only because of the people. And I think it's a mixture of that. I have played this game. So, you know, I always go back to football because I like football a lot. So, if you have seen, there are a lot of managers, you know, who are great players but may not be great managers, but they have played the game. So, if you have played the game, then at least you know what the problems are and how to deal with it. So, I think my team members, you know, they love me first. They respect me, they love me, but they also feel that I'm a part of them. Because I can speak their language, I can speak their feelings. So I think it's that way, you know. And yeah, so that's
lead by example.
Lead by example, be one of them, you know. And like any parties, you know, it's like we are.
Okay, great. So you mentioned about technology.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned we talk about OneStep Global. you know, and it's a market entry. What is market entry? Why don't you mention about what is market entry? What is your business model? How you create value for your stakeholders?
Yeah. So market entry is actually, universities or not only universities, different companies also, they don't want to create their own entity coming to India. They don't want to create, incorporate their own entity, and they don't want to do the hiring, the resourcing, the incubation, the end-to-end servicing, everything. So they choose a market entry firm. I think the biggest market entry firm right now is Reliance. So all your Jimmy Choos to Salvatore Ferragamo's to Louis Vuittons are all actually Reliance, right, in India.
Right.
So I'm not sure what the arrangement is, but the model is very similar, right? This Reliance is infrastructure, Reliance is people, Reliance, the product is theirs. So that's the biggest market entry player, or an Aditya Birla. So I think for us, it is we are only concentrating on universities, and we will keep only in the education space. We have no intention to go beyond the education space. We will only want to stick to education and higher education. What we do is everything. And how do we create value? It's not a payroll service, There are tons of companies who can offer you the payroll services. The value creation is that, one, we know stakeholders, we know partners, we have got deep relationships with education agents, schools, partner universities. We know the landscape, okay? As you were talking in the beginning of the chat, that the ecosystem, right? We know people whom to touch to where. So we can create more value for the university, not only in student mobility, but in branding, in partnerships, in connections, in doing more strategic work. And the third thing is that how universities get benefited out of this is that they have a single point of contact, in this market, that they know that, okay, these are our partners, they are going to make us successful in India or in South Asia. We have recently started in Middle East, and we will very soon go to East Asia. So we are looking into either Malaysia or Vietnam, one of the two, or both. So our plans are, we've gotten 2 universities in the Middle East now, and we are in talks with a couple of universities for Southeast Asia. So, and by the end of the year, I've given myself the calendar year. So by the end of the year, I will set up something in Vietnam or Malaysia or both, whatever suits us. So we want to take it out from the South Asia to different parts of Asia. Let's see.
That's amazing. That's very lofty, and I wish you luck for that.
Thank you.
You mentioned Middle East, and you mentioned Dubai.
Yeah.
And I just did a reel on, Habibi Dubai.
Yeah.
Right?
I saw that, yeah.
Why Dubai? Why all of a sudden everyone talking about Dubai?
Yeah, I think it's a gateway between Europe and Asia. First of all, the location is fantastic. Now, if I say that the taxations are not, then I will be joking. Yes, companies get a tax rebate, and the taxation helps. But I think beyond that, it's a very good, business-friendly city. And even for education businesses, look at the amount of universities that are there, foreign universities, from Birmingham to, big universities like Bradford, Birmingham, I can keep on naming them, they all have their campuses in Dubai. Even Indian university like Amity has campus in Dubai, Manipal has campus in Dubai. So, and then it's a melting pot of cultures, there's a lot of South Asians who will be very erudite, who will be very cautious about education. But also there is, there are Ethiopians, there are Filipinos, there is, there are Emiratis who are the son of the soil. Everything put together, it's a melting pot of different cultures. And I personally I genuinely love that city. I love the vibe of the city. Yes, and I think you also do that, right?
In fact, I was telling this to someone. It's the best state of India outside India.
Yeah, that's true. And I think for us and for me, I have had opportunities, and I'm sure you have had opportunities to migrate out of India. just can't stand too cold countries, too much cold, you know. And
Gloomy and
gloomy and country, you know. I
depressing a
can't,
bit.
you know. Sometimes
I mean, it's exciting when you're young.
yeah,
We have
it's
studied
nice,
there,
yeah,
you know, but probably either you go there early
Yeah.
and get settled down,
Yeah,
then it's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
The infrastructure, the air,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, the safety
yeah,
protection.
yeah.
But if you are moving after 35,
Yeah,
you know,
I think it's little difficult.
it's tough. I guess we continue. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the main thing is that, you know, Dubai offers a first world comfort with a third world convenience. So if तुमको रात को 2 बजे सुट्टा चाहिए तो भी आ जाएगा. And if you are looking for lush roads or infrastructure or safety, look into the safety. You know, we are going through a situation. I'm sorry to bring this. We're going through a situation. We are both fathers of 2 daughters, right? I think in the last couple of weeks, everybody of us have thought, wow, you know, am I safe? Because something happened really, really crap in this country, which just हिला देता है कभी-कभी, you know, जड़ से कि क्या हो रहा है इस देश में. तो safety. I was in a cab in Dubai, you know, and I was talking. This was the first time I went to Dubai, and I was like, meal, you know, कोई गाड़ी दिख नहीं रही है. And I'm like, am I safe? So the guy kind of understood, and they said, sir, गाड़ी के अंदर भी कैमरा लगे हैं, तो मैं आपके साथ कुछ नहीं कर पाऊंगा. GPS भी ये है, you know, वो कंट्रोल करते हैं वो GPS. मेरी गाड़ी भी बंद हो सकती है, and if you shout or something, right? So I think if that kind of comfort you are getting, so Dubai, you know, I genuinely, I don't know whether I will move ever or not.
But it's a good option to
It's
have.
a good option to
I mean,
have,
I was
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about golden visa,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I guess we are processing it, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
global mobility and all that.
Yeah.
We touch upon a very important point, and you've been market entry and you're working with education partners. So, you know, you talk about it's a very good time to set up a branch or a holding company via most of the education partners been inquiring, talking about, you know, or they have many who have set up, you know, their branches or their offices. You know, why that's happening? If you can double click on this.
In India, or
I mean, lots of Indian education agents,
Yeah.
partners, which are called. Why
they have going to Dubai,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
many
Dubai,
have- many have already
Singapore.
settled.
Yeah, I think, you know, tax one for
Okay,
sure.
Yeah.
But also, I think the Middle East and North Africa opens up because Africa is huge. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
Middle
very
East also-
untapped. What India used to be 10 years or 15 years back.
Yes, and see all the education agents, the big ones, you know, they're all present in Africa now. So, और जो African agencies है वो भी Indian चलाते हैं. The biggest African agency that I met, they in Kenya, I think, 2 Gujarati brothers. I'm like, यहाँ पे भी है ये लोग, you know. So I think culturally also, you know, it makes more sense for them. But look, tax safety,
proximity to
proximity to India,
and you can keep visiting your offices in India
Yes.
and then probably stay there,
Yes.
and, you know, and expand
2.5 hours you will reach, 3 hours you will reach, you know. So
Makes
I
sense.
think, and then there's a you will never feel out of home. दुबई में कभी लगता नहीं है कि यार सब हिंदी में बात कर रहे हैं. So I think
Right.
those
You let me go back to market entry.
Yeah.
So one is, you know, that university don't want to create their entity because of, you know, they don't want to take a headache, and
Yeah.
when they want to come to a new country,
Yeah.
they want to have a small lean operations. Or,
Yeah.
you know, but I've seen some universities have a very big offices and a different setup. You know, you want to share that?
Yeah, so I think, you know, not every university will be, yes, generally the norm is that you try and test the market, you know. But some universities, which I feel they are more, they will have more appetite, you know, and they genuinely feel that India is the biggest source market. Some universities will have their admissions team. Like we have a client with, you know, close to 50 people sitting here. And the reason of that is, and I was, you know, very, very kind of astounded to hear that when they're saying that, look, they are saying that we are building capability here, through here, you know, digital marketing, IT, English speaking, you know, then hardworking. You have loyal people, you know, generally we are
people, yeah.
we are loyal people, you know. So they said to us, stability, and the love to work with a Western company or a Western institution, right? So I think all put together, the talent is outstanding in India. The infrastructure is pretty okay now.
At par.
At par.
Better than that.
So you see the offices that you are.
Yeah.
I think this is state of the art, and the third part is that sometimes we say this, but I don't know how much this is there. But if you are working in a different time zone, then you are actually servicing the client or the customer for more hours, right? So
you get more buck for your
for one
value for
buck
your
spent. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So all this put together, like 50 people working for one university.
And there's still a price advantage.
There is a price advantage
and
to hire
also,
them.
Also in India, people still don't mind working on Saturday Sundays if it's need. And most of the space you need, most of the events happen on Saturday Sundays. So that's why probably I would say India is the biggest market entry market, or is it
for
China?
Education institutions?
Yeah, it's still China.
Yeah, I think China or India, one of the two. But China is heavily dominated by a couple of players. I think it's one Chinese, one another multinational. But India is now, God knows how many market entry firms are there. So for education space, I'm saying, see, China is a different problem. China has a lot of barriers, and this. You're doing business there. So India, language barrier is not there. This is not there. But India, I think. I'm not putting China down at all. That's not my intention.
That's their model.
Yeah, that's their model.
That's how they've been. That's working for them.
Yeah, I think India gives a value. It's not a negative connotation towards when it comes to India. It's not like that. India is difficult, so have an Indian company. I think the main thing is that India is good. Let's take the maximum from India and let's have this kind of presence in India. So that's a very positive connotation that India brings in.
So coming back to market entry model, because you are an expert for market entry.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's a bit, I won't say black hole, but not many people know about how market entries works.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into business model.
No problem.
But
That's
how
okay.
we can tell our audience, your future
Potential clients,
your future colleagues, that why one can explore working with you, how market entries works, how they make money, or probably how they create value for universities. So there are some university which is which been run by Indian who used to be representing them. I mean, I can name, like, let's say Deakin, let's say RMITs, right? So why Deakins are not working with market entries and they have their own setup, or how the?
I think so lot of institutions have lot of different models, and I'm not going to comment on what models they are.
And even I named it. You don't need to name it. I can.
Right? So but let me put it this way, that the taxation and the permanent establishment laws of this country are very, very complicated. So it's not very easy to understand what are the permanent establishment laws or what are the laws. So I can tell you how we do it.
Please.
So I think the only thing that I can tell you is that we are very compliant in terms of the law of this. So we tell our people that the basic two things are that one is that you cannot hire people directly. So if you are an offshore company, you cannot hire people directly, and you cannot have an infrastructure which can be termed as your office. And the third one, which is the vague part, is that and nothing should be construed as the above two. So
go deeper.
So what happens is that, let's say there are a lot of models which are like they are a consultant, okay? But have we checked the agreement? So मान लो कि there is a guy who is working for one institution and there is a consulting agreement, okay, with that one person is an independent consultant and working as a consultant. But have we checked the agreement that he has or she has with the university? Can that be construed as an employment agreement? And if it is getting construed as an employment agreement, then they are permanent establishment, you know. So, like, a lot of people will come here and say that, hey, why don't you brand your office with our logos? I'm like, no, you cannot use a logo here. Because is that getting construed as your office or is it our office?
Oh.
So the usage of, you can put pictures of, like I have, put pictures of multiple universities in my office. That's okay. But logo usage is not permissible. So we have taken detailed, analysis and detailed hours and hours have gone into to create my company compliant. Now I can say that we are extremely compliant. We know this, where this is going. So if a university, and now this depends on the risk appetite. So to reach out to your first thing, that why are there different models, okay? So if you see, there are organized companies like ourselves, and we have some others, who are also doing very well in this space. A lot of universities are with us, and then there are some, it depends on the risk appetite. That am I okay to go with this, or am I going to pay a little extra, or maybe not even payment is not the only thing, but am I going to look into the market entry model and be more compliant? In certain cases, Saurabh, I'm really sorry and I'm being very honest here, but in certain cases, universities, without even knowing, are breaking certain criminal laws of this country. Because the Prevention of Money Laundering Act is extremely important to understand. What is the Prevention of Money Laundering Act? You putting some foreign currency into one's account, are you FEMA, compliant? If you are a not-for-profit, which most of the institutions are, you have to sign FCRA, Foreign Currency Regulation Act. Are you doing that? And there are tons of things. So my only hope that it is better to go with organized players. And even if they are my competition, I have no problems when a university goes to an organized players, because I know that, okay, this is the right way to do this. But it's just that we have to be very, very careful on the contracts that we sign, on these kind of things that we do. And it's the more this industry, and I'll wrap this up, the more this industry is going to get bigger, the more it will come under the scanner.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, agreed.
And being a part of the same industry, we are all seeing, back in the day, there were 1,000 students going. Now we are talking about millions, right?
Already government talking about in parliament.
Exactly. कि laws, जो ये सब एजेंसी को रेगुलेट करने की बातें कर रहे हैं, ये पूरी सिस्टम को रेगुलेट करने की बातें कर रहे हैं. I think I'm not going to create, any kind of controversy by saying that what is correct and what is not correct. Yeah. But what I'm going to say is that we will all come under the scanner sooner or later.
Yeah.
So it is better to get your houses, compliant.
Absolutely. Yeah. And good thing in this space, it's a booming space.
Yeah.
It's a stable, industry.
Yeah.
The macros are intact.
Yeah.
So as a I would say as a trailblazers or torchbearer of this ecosystem, it has been 13 years to me, 15 years to you. You have done something which is very rare, market entries. You have showed the way. We have done something which was not heard about. We created a category, right? And there are partners. There are some established partners in peer group which we just adore, and they should be. And there are some who are probably there are always some back actors. Yeah. So I'm a firm believer that there should be consortiums. There should be we should be talk about these things. There should be have association where we talk about how to ensure that we point out bad actors, or at least correct them if we can, and even social shaming, or at least pinking out that if some bad actor or some peer group is not doing right, at least as a ecosystem of category creators, we should have a onus to not shy away to point out. I know people shy away, that मेरा क्या जा रहा है, it's okay, this and that, but no, in long term, all your hard work, you are doing the right thing, and if there are people who are start not being compliant, one will be seen by other will be seen by others, and then it will be then
Like
we
a
all
house of cards.
House of cards, and we all will be tagged like, okay, no one is compliant.
Yeah, no one is compliant. You know, exactly.
Absolutely. So, it's been 15 years, for you, and you have been creating a category, or you have been ex uni reps, creating a, wonderful business, creating lots of value, creating lots of employment, helping this ecosystem, or in a way country, on lots of foreign exchange. So you're doing service to country. How your journey been,
Yeah.
including pandemic.
Yeah.
Because as a business, wherein
Yeah.
students don't go,
Yeah.
we are irrelevant.
Yeah.
Right? How was your how was the pandemic? Because you started in 18.
Yeah.
Then how was post pandemic when it's bullish?
Yeah.
How was this year?
Yeah.
So this year has been a very interesting year.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
please share your journey.
I think 2018 we had nothing. 2019 we got 2 clients, so we became 3 from 1.
3 steps.
Yeah, 3 steps. 2020 we saw a boom, sort of, because a lot of universities felt that God, we can't travel. So let's have representation. So where every other business was struggling, we somehow picked up कि भाई कौन जाएगा कौन, तो इससे अच्छा वहीं पे किसी को ये लगा देते हैं. So 2020, 2021 were pretty good years for us. 2022, when we were getting out of the pandemic, it was little tough, but still it was okay. 2023 was the biggest year for OneStep. We got 10 clients.
Wow.
So हमारे इसमें है ही होती नहीं है, ठीक है. 2024 is a normal year.
Consolidating.
It's a consolidating year, and but 2024, I think I will always quote Mr. Modi here, that the Prime Minister said that in a difficult situation you create opportunities.
Yes,
Yeah?
absolutely.
And I truly believe that what he was saying. I think this is the time when smart companies are making opportunities for themselves. Instead of crying, ये नहीं हो रहा है, वो नहीं हो रहा है, बच्चे नहीं जा रहे हैं, बच्चे यहाँ जा रहे हैं, वहाँ जा रहे हैं, look to pivot. Like what you are doing with, I was you were telling me right now that, you're looking to Europe, alternate destinations. So, yeah, we all have to pivot, that कि अच्छा यहाँ पे problem हो रहा है, तो चलो कुछ और करते हैं. So, I think people who are smart businesses, they will quickly try to do what is the
You mean that in adversity there is opportunity.
Yes.
In fact मैं हिंदी में क्या बोलता हूँ, कुछ बातें हिंदी में अच्छी लगती हैं. मंदी में धंधा बनता है, तेजी में खर्ची होती है. So this is a time to build brands. This is a time to establish relationships. This is a time to pivot. And like what we did, So we always been to post admission. Housing is the core, and we had value added services like air tickets. And on a backward indication, I would say pre-admission. The way we launched SEBI in one of your last year. Global education. It's in October.
Yes, in October.
And last time it was amazing. I'm very very excited that it's going to be double or 10 times better. So like we launched Study Abroad Buddy for international education.
Yes.
I was just showing we created a voice bot. So what we are doing, at university, that we're very happy with post admission, housing core value added services, but all our enablement or technology which we've been creating, now we extended to our education partners, universities, whether it's voice bot, all the AI capabilities we have built at UN, because at heart we are technology. At the same time also firmly believe that technology without human is waste. That's why we have 400 people, and so we've been creating lots of industry first. Like we created this Study Abroad Buddy for international education, which is the world first AI assistant consultant, right? Then we all know that we need to make lots of calls and activate and the people. So that's where the voice bot came in, and you already see.
I saw that.
It's
flawless, it's brilliant.
Right? Then so idea is that how we keep ahead of the curve, or keep creating value for the stakeholders, the ecosystem. Whether it's market entries, whether it's universities, whether it's schools, whether it's education partners, because end of the day, it's the ecosystem. Right? You don't grow in isolation.
No. And the reason I was saying, and I firmly believe that when Vodafone came in, I think Mr. Mittal from Airtel has actually got some stakes in Vodafone, 1.6% or something. I don't know whether he has still or diluted. Someone asked him that why? Competition है. बोलते कि दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी टेलीकॉम्स प्लेयर आई है. ये आएंगे, मार्केट बढ़ेंगे. You know?
Right.
So if you are thinking that, I'm sure you have some competition.
Yeah.
We have some competition,
I say peer group.
Yeah.
I don't like
Chalo.
two words. I don't know why. Competition and employees. I don't like this word. I don't know. So I always say team members and I always say peer groups.
Which is good,
Yeah.
We have some, and I always say to, the people who are vying for the same business, we will compete there where we are vying for the same business. But there is also a different world where we can collaborate and create more values.
Yeah.
And I think that this is high time that, we start creating values more for this entire ecosystem and for this entire international education industry. India is going nowhere. India is only going to grow and grow and grow. So if whoever is listening to us, if there are foreign universities who are listening to us and this podcast, I think if in your strategy India does not start the strategy, then your strategy is wrong. So if you think that it should start with our neighbors, with all due respect, neighbors means China.
Yeah.
If a strategy starts with China first, because it has been a strategy for a long period of time, but it is the time of India. And if India is not in the strategy,
As your first.
Yeah,
not only strategy.
it's your first. But India is always in the strategy, I'm sure. But as your first thing, then as your P1 market, as we say in the corporate term, as a priority one market. So you are missing something, and I think
You're missing 1.3 million students.
1.3 million students, and which is only going to grow.
Yeah.
So and I think Indian students, in all across the campuses that we go and we visit and all, one thing that comes across with Indian students is that where my clients or people who are like peer groups, they will say that Indian students are good kids. The first thing they will say, they don't need so much of hand holding. They're respectful, obedient, they're hardworking, disciplined, so you are also getting quality students. It's not only the quantity,
Yes. They're not just bringing money.
They're just bringing
also
money.
bringing culture, skills, and something which that country needs.
Yeah, and look into, and I strongly believe, I don't know where I'm digressing, but I strongly believe that international education or overall higher education needs technology and needs some Indians to go and fix this, and I'm being absolutely honest, because somehow we have tech entrepreneurs like nobody has, right? You name it from Pichai to Nadella to God knows how many people.
Tech been led by Indians.
Indians, yeah. So international education needs 100 Indian guys to fix it through technology, because, and I'm not saying to anybody, I'm saying this for myself also, that we're still lagging as a company, we're still lagging far behind.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that it's a brick and mortar company, it's a model which is service driven, but technology can do a lot of things for you overnight. So
and you're using lots of technology. You've been very humble, but I have seen.
We do. Yeah, our technology actually.
You are compliant. You have best of the CRMs.
No, I know. Our technology, like the simple thing, the expense app that we use is just a click of the photo. You just need to click a photograph. Yeah. So there are companies which are still using handwritten this thing, but we just our guys, our team members just need to click a picture, and that actually generates them.
It saves so much of time.
Yeah. So when they are traveling, they will lose the copies of the bills. They're human beings.
Yeah.
So I think then we use like our HR system, our leave application, everything is through an app. Our entire expense management system is through an app. Our we don't do it, but if a university asks that, can you geotag someone, we can through help of because the basics, right? Nowadays the basics.
But lots of companies not using.
There are lots of companies not using. In our space also, there are lots of companies not using. So my thing is that then what will happen is you will continuously invest into people, right? your overhead costs will go over the roof. Now, I'm sure that people are required and people are the biggest asset. But if you don't enable them with technology,
Yeah.
then there is no point. You'll just keep on adding from
more
one
people.
job
Yeah.
more and more people. So I think we at OneStep at least, I was being modest actually, on all honesty. We do utilize a lot of tech in our line of work, which whatever is required. I'm sure in your line of work it is more required, but in our line of work, whatever is required, we do utilize the tech, and our employees are also, our team members are also very happy because they feel that there is no middle person that I need to talk. वो कोई बाबू नहीं बैठा है फाइनेंस डिपार्टमेंट में ए जो जी बिल और वो नहीं आके बोलेगा बिल कहाँ गया तुम्हारा ये वो हेन तेन so yeah, so I don't know where the question started and where
No, that's the video podcast, right? It's a
though.
candidate convention. My best interest, I get to learn so many new things. And then content is amazing. It's recorded, so I can go back to my notes and see. Okay, this is the model. This is how it works. So this is my best interest. So you mentioned about you mentioned a point wherein when Vodafone came to India, and Mr. Mittal or Airtel was like the market gonna boom, because they will learning the best practices. There will be competition, there will be margin cuts, but overall market gonna grow, and that's what happened, right? So we've been talking about Gift City. We just talked about Dubai. I know you're an expert on Gift City. So would love to understand about Gift City more. Especially from someone like universities. Then if someone like us, who's a value-added service provider and global, does it make sense for us to have Gift City registration in Gift City or to move to Dubai, right? And if we compare Dubai and Gift City, then would like to touch upon higher education and T&E, because lots of people are saying, okay, if university will have campuses here, student will avoid, or less people will be going abroad. Which I don't believe so. We know, but would love to hear from you.
So I think first of all, the Gift City is a great concept. The Gift City concept is brilliant, and I really you were there when they came also in the conclave last time. But to answer your particular questions about the first thing, what I understood was more from a taxation point of view.
I mean, anything about Gift City, or what is Gift City?
Okay, so I think the Gift City is, very close to Ahmedabad, a place that where people are saying that, it's if you are registered as a foreign company, so you have to be a foreign company as much as I understood, and wanting to invest into India, you get certain tax exemptions. The currency is actually not INR, it's dollar. And I'm sure there are multiple things, but Gift City is doing a lot of work for education institutions, coming to the point. So if you have seen that Wollongong Deakin has already opened, Coventry is looking at Southampton today. The news was that Southampton has gotten a license.
Southampton?
A license to operate in India. I think first of all we need to understand that
is this a good point for market entries, or is it
I think there were two different things. The dichotomy is clear. Like Southampton has an Indian office, right? Through one of our competition that they do. That business and this business is very separate. People who are going to study abroad, they are not going only for the university.
True.
And hallelujah, wake up, smell the coffee. It's not only for the university and the courses, right? They are going for the country, they're going to create a career, they're wanting to stay abroad, they want a culture, they want an exposure, everything. Okay. That package cannot be offered in India. So people will continue to go and study abroad. So our main diktat is that we are going to help universities who are going to recruit or have partnerships from India to their main campuses. Here is a different lot, Now the second question that comes कि पैसे कितने लगेंगे यार, उतने पैसे देके इंडिया में क्यों पढ़ना है? That the universities need to understand that if they are going to charge in pounds, 20,000 pounds, studying in India, maybe or may not be that doesn't sense a lot of lucrative offer, at least doesn't sound lucrative to me. But I'm sure universities are far more clever than me. and they will figure this out. So the third question is that, is there a value towards having campuses in India? Of course there is. There is no doubt about it, and for market entry players, why is it going to be always outward mobility? Why not inward mobility also, So if this goes great, tomorrow if a client of mine wants to open in Gift City, I'll be the first person to help them. So how to do it, how to set up, that's another line of business, right? Stream of our revenue. So I think it's a great thing. I am not at all, overtly worried about this, and I think they're very two different things. But if there is a chance that we can help our universities to open their institutions in Gift City, I'll be more than happy to help our universities. And in this conclave also, we are bringing them again. And last time they were there, we will bring them again, and we will have another conversation on Gift City. So we are also promoting Gift City as much as we can through our events, through our platforms. So
you talk about global education conclave.
Yeah.
And I remember it was your first GC last year.
Yeah.
And in last 3 months, I've been hearing lots of GC, global conclave. So that means you suddenly made a mark.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell more about it and then we wrap up?
Yeah, sure. So I think, it's on the 24th, 25th, 26th. It's a 3-day event. So 24th, we are going to have...
October,
yeah, okay. Sorry.
And India?
In India, yeah. Okay. So it's in Delhi.
Okay.
So 24th October, we are going to bring our partner institutions to Ashoka University and to Bennett University. And we'll try for the transnational education immersion kind of a thing. 25th is the conference. So we are going to have panel discussions, workshops, launches, products, everything in one day. 26th, actually, we are doing this for the first time. We are taking... what do we call, OneStep family and friends and the partners and, like long-time friends like you, our clients, our team members, all to Taj Mahal.
Oh, wow.
And we'll show them, we'll have a networking event there. And that's kind of, it caps it off with the 2 rigorous days and the last day being, we've taken the ITC.
And that's also a good photo
opportunity,
for Unireps to go to Taj
Mahal, and then
the weather will be very good.
Very, very good, and we booked the ITC Mughal, hopefully, that's so we're doing it in the Mughal Gardens, so we have done this entire thing, and I feel that, and I will wrap this segment and I'll wrap this podcast by saying that only one thing, that, there's a passion that leads us to 11:30. It's 11:30 here, and I have to go back to Aero City, So there is a passion for all of us to take our babies, as you started this conversation, that, university living is your baby. OneStep Global is also my baby, I think, to take our babies to that part. And so I think, that is extremely important. The passion to do, passion to grow leads us to take, very risky steps. I'm 75% Bengali and 25% Marathi, though both the communities are not very, risk-taking, as much as I can say. But what I can learn from this journey of mine is that, risk to reward ratio is very important, Saurabh, and you will also, agree to it. But there's something between founders and entrepreneurs that keeps us going. And this is very intangible, it's very difficult to put in words that ki hai kya ye, kaun sa dopamine hai ye, chale ja rahe,
मैं interrupt कर रहा हूँ.
नहीं.
I was coming back and I quoted one thing, like,
if not, I saw, if not me, then who? If not us, then
abhi nahi to kab. If not now, then when? If not me, then who?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just came. Like, 400 people, I'm working 20 hours. Not that I'm proud of it, but then I'm in a different nasha or intoxication of building and scaling University Living into IPO. But there are lots of trade-offs.
Yeah.
There are those sacrifices. But go back.
No, I think I'll also finish this and by saying only one thing, that that I read a quote by I think by Billie Jean or someone. It was that being busy is a privilege because
Can't agree more.
you are responsible for a lot of people. That's why people are expecting the 400 people that you're working with.
For
You're working for them.
yeah.
So
for everyone.
yeah 400 people and their families, right? The 100 people that I'm working with, their families, so being busy. And मैं कभी कभी बोलता हूँ मेरी वाइफ को भी कि that यार मैं ही क्यों ये मेरे साथ ही क्यों हो रहा है कि I've not done anything special, that what तो मैं I believe that कभी कभी मैं बोलता हूँ उसको कि and I will finish this honestly I'll finish this by saying this that
I have one more segment but that will be a rapid
okay all right
question now.
So I'll finish by saying that भगवान का काम है शायद क्योंकि हम लोग जरिया है इस काम को करवाने के लिए. तुम ही क्यों यूनिवर्सिटी लिविंग चलाने के लिए, मैं ही क्यों वन स्टेप ग्लोबल के लिए.
मेरा ट्विटर का वो भी मिस्टर एक्सीडेंटल सीईओ है.
हाँ,
I mean out of the blue. I mean I was a banker.
Yeah.
I never wanted to start.
Yeah.
I wanted to, in fact, मेरी family पूरी business वाली family है. So I'm like मुझे तो job करनी है. I want to work in CP. I want to be a banker. Enjoy my weekends. Right, and probably I was chosen one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that's the magic of this. That I was a university rep. जैसे मेरे तरह कुछ हजार लोग होते हैं इस देश में, ठीक है. मेरे से ज़्यादा काबिल लोग हैं. मैं ही क्यों, मैंने कुछ ऐसा कोई तीर नहीं मार लिया था. And I worked for a very
you have positive vibes. I mean you underplaying yourself.
No, मतलब ठीक है.
You have the giving nature.
And the funny part in IC3, someone of my batch came to me and said that तू जीतता है ना, तो लगता है हम सब जीत रहे हैं. And I think that's the only thing that keeps me going. So yeah,
So last part, and I know it's very late,
No,
thank
fine,
you, and it's a long podcast also, but I believe we have added some value and created few content which is useful. So last rapid fast rapid round. Is that the right word? Fast rapid round or क्या बोलते हैं? Rapid fire. Yeah, see, I'm also learning. So rapid fire round, quick one, right? Unirep or ex-Unirep or market entry?
Market entry.
Higher education or TNE?
Higher education.
Family or OneStep Global?
Both are my families.
Choose one.
That's difficult, it's difficult. This one
Okay,
I'll have to
okay,
give you a
okay.
pass, yeah.
Another one is coming.
Yeah.
Client or team?
A team.
Team.
Yeah. Team.
Books or sports?
Sports.
Soccer.
Yeah, football, yeah.
Man U or Arsenal?
None. Both I hate.
Which one is yours?
Liverpool.
Oh, Liverpool lad.
Yeah.
I believe I can go, really long, but
Yeah.
okay. We know there's a common with the, with watches, right?
Yeah.
Patek or AP?
I think Patek Philippe for me as well.
Tag or what? Tag and
Nothing.
Seiko?
A tag.
Right.
Yeah.
Rolex or Rolex?
Rolex or Omega. Rolex.
Yeah.
Rolex. Yeah.
Nice.
I think with watches it is about the age and the stage of your life, because watches actually describe
Your mind space.
yeah, that where have you reached in life, like when you are
It shows your time.
yeah, shows your time. Yeah, I think it shows your time.
Because that's another common interest among us, that watches. And I didn't know, we've been together for 4 or 5 years. We know each other, but we didn't know that he also was connoisseur or a watch lover. And that is another thing which binds us.
Yeah.
All those expensive watches which you don't buy, but we aspire to buy. But it's good to talk. Great, Aritra, that was
thank you
amazing.
very much.
Thanks for your time.
Thank
I
you.
hope
Yeah.
you didn't get bored.
No.
And I just for audience, there's no AC.
Yeah.
It's 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
Or more than that.
Yeah.
And he been down with weather.
Yeah.
And came
That's
from
fine.
Mumbai in the morning. And
Yeah.
we'll be going back to Gurgaon, which is 1.5 hours from here.
Yeah.
Kudos.
No problem.
Thank you.
No problem.